Out here in LA, man.
Yeah.
My boy got the whole bridge to himself. You got the shower, right?
Yeah.
Shower?
Stop scrolling immediately. A guy living under a bridge in Los Angeles just gave an MTV crib-style tour of his underground apartment, and it will completely boil your blood. You have to see this absolute insanity.
And then what else do you have here? You got your room over here, right?
Yeah, my room.
Oh, you have a bed now?
Yeah.
No way. Wow, una cámara y todo. What? This is sick. What? With your bears on there? Then what, you got your... What is this, the living room?
Huh?
The living room?
Yeah.
What? Hey, you upgraded since I saw you last.
Yeah.
Everything good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Are you working?
Wait, did you actually catch what is happening here? This guy has literally built an entire underground apartment complex right into the concrete infrastructure of a Los Angeles bridge. Look closely. He's got a functional shower setup, a defined living room, a bedroom space, and he even directly tapped into the city's electrical grid. But the craziest part isn't the engineering. It's how completely normalized this conversation is. He isn't hiding. He's giving a proud MTV-style tour of his illegal encampment. The city's political leadership has allowed the baseline of acceptable behavior to drop so unimaginably low that people are comfortably constructing permanent homes on public property without an ounce of fear of being evicted. When you dump tens of billions of taxpayer dollars into a deeply broken bureaucracy with zero accountability, this is exactly the terrifying result you get. You are literally subsidizing an underground economy where public infrastructure is casually handed over. It's an absolute failure of municipal governance, and it leaves everyday, law-abiding taxpayers footing the bill for their own city's active destruction.
From general assistance, or how was that hard to get?
Fucking phone call, bro.
Wow.
Fucking phone call. 200 food stamps and $620 cash a month.
Wow.
Forget about it. Why wouldn't I do it? You know, it's fucking free money, dude. This right now is literally by choice. Literally by choice. Like, why would I want to pay rent? I'm not doing shit. I got a fucking cell phone.
Listen incredibly closely to what this man is proudly bragging about on camera. He literally packed up and moved all the way from Texas to San Francisco specifically because the local government pays him to be homeless. He explicitly calls it free money. He's collecting over $600 in cash assistance every single month, plus food stamps, all secured by making one simple phone call. He's out here with Amazon Prime, Netflix, a smartphone, and absolutely zero incentive to ever pay rent or re-enter the labor force. This completely shatters the mainstream media narrative that the homelessness crisis is purely about housing affordability. It is fundamentally an incentive crisis. When local governments hand out unconditional cash, provide free cell phones, and enforce zero-consequence camping policies, they act as a massive magnet for transient populations across the entire country. You are watching a man openly mock the hard-working taxpayers who fund his lifestyle. Until these heavily subsidized programs are shut down, the encampments will only multiply. It is a completely self-inflicted disaster driven by radically flawed policies.
Like everyone's missing who's voting for me. The only people that aren't are the socialists, the lunatics, and the communists. But any normal functioning brain that doesn't want to step in human poop when they get their matcha is voting for me, which is a lot of people. It's a lot of people.
Look at how flawlessly he cuts through the typical robotic political nonsense. Spencer Pratt isn't relying on focus-grouped campaign jargon. He is speaking directly to the raw, unfiltered exhaustion of the everyday Los Angeles resident. When he bluntly states that any normal functioning brain that doesn't want to step in human waste is voting for him, he is highlighting exactly why his campaign is surging. He is actively ignoring the extreme political fringes and talking strictly about the basic, undeniable quality of life issues that the establishment has entirely abandoned. Traditional politicians are absolutely terrified of this unapologetic approach because they have no idea how to counter it. How do you debate a guy who just points at the filthy streets and promises to enforce the law? The current leadership has burned through billions of dollars just to watch the city decay into a massive biological hazard. Voters do not care about his reality television past anymore. They are just desperate for a political disruptor who will finally bring basic sanitation and safety back to their neighborhoods.
And the pond there. This has never happened before. I was always too afraid to come here because of the homeless people, but they're all gone. And it seriously looks like Paris. I mean, I've never seen this many people out here. I mean, look, everyone is enjoying it. Everybody. A year ago, Trump said he was going to clean up DC, and he did. It is clean, it's calm, it's quiet, except for the Chipotle down in Navy Yard, apparently this weekend, but I wasn't there for that.
Check out the absolute shock on her face. This is a local resident in Washington, D.C., documenting the complete overnight transformation of Meridian Hill Park. For years, this exact historic space was completely overrun by dangerous encampments, making it entirely unusable for local families and tourists. Now, the drug camps are completely gone, the massive historic fountains are finally flowing again, and everyday citizens are actually walking their dogs and enjoying the sunshine safely. This proves an incredibly vital point. Rampant urban decay is a choice. You do not have to just tolerate a collapsing city. When executive leadership actually mandates that public parks be meticulously cleaned up and local laws be strictly enforced, the results are immediate and absolutely staggering. It didn't require a 10-year study or a billion-dollar exploratory committee. It just took direct action and political will. The stark contrast between this vibrant, safe public space and the dystopian concrete camps in California couldn't be more extreme. People are starved for safety, and this proves reclaiming our cities is entirely possible. Pause right here and look at the horrifying reality that LAPD is forced to deal with on a daily basis. This isn't footage from a third world country. This is a major intersection in the middle of Los Angeles, and it is absolutely infested with massive swarms of rats feeding on piles of street garbage. The police department deliberately released this specific footage because they are desperately trying to sound the alarm on a massive public health crisis that local politicians are actively ignoring. We instituted public sanitation and waste management over a century ago, specifically to prevent catastrophic outbreaks of contagious diseases. Yet the city is allowing massive biological hazards to fester right on the sidewalks. This completely blocks ADA access for disabled residents and creates an incredibly dangerous environment for everyone in the surrounding neighborhood. You simply cannot claim to run a modern, progressive society while simultaneously allowing medieval plague conditions to thrive in your commercial districts. It is a stunning display of bureaucratic negligence that puts the entire tax-paying public at severe risk.
But I doubt that he knows, and many Angelenos know, that the fastest growing sector of the unhoused population are senior citizen women in their late 60s and 70s who have aged out of basically working in the service industry.
Notice the specific, highly calculated language she uses here. Mayor Karen Bass refuses to even call the problem what it is, insisting on using the soft, sanitized term unhoused residents, while explicitly claiming the fastest growing demographic is senior citizen women. This is a classic political deflection tactic. Instead of directly addressing the massive populations of prime-age men struggling with severe addiction and extreme mental health crises, which is what every single citizen actually sees on the streets, She tries to frame the entire crisis around highly sympathetic grandmothers. It is a deliberate manipulation of the public narrative designed entirely to justify billions more in unchecked spending for affordable housing programs. These programs completely ignore the harsh root causes of addiction and lawlessness. If a leader cannot even accurately diagnose the core reality of a problem, they have absolutely zero chance of ever solving it. Sugarcoating a massive public safety disaster with soft, politically correct language doesn't clean up the streets. It just enables the societal collapse to rapidly continue.
Areas like this one all over our city, especially with the warmer months ahead.
This is the most amount of people I have seen here ever. It's incredible, and it's a lot cooler, and people just enjoying, and this is amazing.
It's great. We love being in the city and having an outdoor space that's safe and clean and open like this is fantastic. It's one of the best features of DC.
It's so nice. It's really, really a big improvement over not having the fountains on. And obviously, it's drawing a lot of people to the park.
Did you catch the sheer relief in the voices of those locals? The local news in DC is actively reporting on the massive crowds of tourists and families finally returning to Malcolm X Park, simply because it is safe and clean again. People are practically celebrating the basic return of civilization. When you actually enforce the law and meticulously maintain public spaces, the community instantly revitalizes. This is the exact proven blueprint that cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco are completely ignoring right now. It proves that you don't need to surrender your city to endless street chaos. The residents are explicitly saying how much of a massive improvement it is to have an outdoor space they can actually enjoy without constant fear of being harassed or attacked. It is the ultimate rejection of the progressive policy that allows encampments to monopolize public land indefinitely. When leadership finally prioritizes the safety and enjoyment of the tax-paying public over the enablement of illegal street camping, the entire city thrives immediately. The politicians are failing, but the citizens are finally waking up. Hit subscribe, drop a comment on who you think is to blame, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.